The plant tissue system. Tissues made up of cells, usually similar in structure and function. It is simple if it contains one cell type. Tissue is a collection of similar cells performing unorganized functions for the plant. Meristematic tissue. Part of the plant where cell division, mitosis, or production of new cells occurs. It's a type of tissues found in plants. It consists of undifferentiated cells capable of cell division. Types of meristematic tissues: apical meristem, growing tips, and undifferentiated meristematic tissues found in the buds and growing tips of roots in plant. Region of cells capable of division and growth in the root and shoot tips in plant. Lateral meristem, sideward growth, consists of the vascular cambium and the core cambium phalogen that is arranged parallel to the sides of an organ and that is responsible for increase in diameter of the organ. Intercalary meristem. At internodes or stem regions between the place at which leaves attach and leaf bases, especially of certain monocotyledons, is a type of meristematic tissues associated with the growth in length in the middle position. In particular, it is made up of meristematic cells that is divided methodically in the stem at the base of nodes and leaf bladder. Permanent tissues. Mature fully differentiated cells have lost the power to divide, having attained their definite form and size. So permanent tissue is plant tissue that has completed its growth and differentiation and is usually incapable of meristematic activity. Types of tissues: simple tissues and complex tissues. Simple tissues, only one type of cell. There are three types of simple tissues: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. So parenchyma, found in the cortical regions of stems and roots and in the mesophyll of the leaves. It's thin-walled, pliable cells that alive and retain in the capacity to divide, participate in photosynthesis, mesophyll storage, secretion, etc. So parenchyma they are living cells and walled soft in the nature due to the presence of thin-walled cells. Collenchyma cells are thickened and help strengthen the plant. It is commonly arranged as strands or cylinders beneath the dermal tissue of stems and stalks. The primary cell walls of collenchyma become thickened with cellulose and pectin at maturity, often at their corners. So collenchyma, these are characterized by an even, thick-walled living cells. Sclerenchyma provides mechanical support and protection in mature plants, thick and often impregnated with lignin, which strengthens and waterproof cell walls. Form fibers such as abaca and jute. Scleroids or stone cells, gritty textures in chicle. So sclerenchyma, they have cells with thickened lignified walls, providing them strength and making them waterproof. Complex tissues, more than two types of cells. So complex tissues, those tissues that comprise more than type of cell, varying cells that are involved in perform a dedicated function. Xylem conduct water and mineral salt, the plant body. Composition: tracheids, basal membrane, xylem fibers, and xylem parenchyma. So, xylem is to transport water from roots to stem and leaves, but it also transports nutrients. Pollen, also called bast tissue in plants, conduct foods made in leaves to all other parts of plants. Composition: seed tubes, companion cells, pollen parenchyma, and pollen fibers. So pollen is one of the two tissues that makes up the plant's long-distance transport system. Primary pollen, formed by the apical meristem, zones of new cell production of root and shoot tips, is a type of pollen that forms from the procambium during the primary growth. Secondary pollen, replacement for metapollen in plants that have cambium. Secondary pollen is a type of pollen that forms from the vascular cambium during the secondary growth. Major plant tissue system. Ground tissue accounts for the bulk composition of young plants. Function in food manufacture and storage. Contains three main cell types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. Ground tissue is every one of the tissue aside from the vascular plaques and the epidermis. Dermal tissues. Plants' protective outer covering in contact with the environment. So dermal tissues is the outer protection layer of the primary plant body. Vascular tissues. Pollen and xylem form a continuous vascular system throughout the plant. Conducts the water and solutes between organs and also provide mechanical support. So vascular tissue comprise of the xylem and the pollen, the main transport system of plants. General anatomical region of a plant body. Epidermis, outermost layer, serves as protection. Cortex, next layer to epidermis. Pericycle, found in root branches, layer of cells adjacent to the cortex. Vascular bundles, pollen, xylem. Pit, hollow opening in the center of the stem. General anatomical region of a leaf. Epidermis, mesopyle, vascular bundles, xylem, and pollen. Epidermis, skin outer covering, a continuous skin that covers both sides of a leaf, formed by a single layer of a transparent, interlocking cells covered by a cuticle. Outermost photoderm-derived layer of a cell, covering the stem, root, leaf, flower, fruit, and seed parts of a plant. Cuticle designed to protect the leaf's internal tissues from excessive dehydration. Contains numerous openings called stomates, the outermost layer of plant which covers leaves. Stomates or stomata, majority are located on the underside of the leaves, perforate the epidermis, and permit a two-way gas exchange, or O2-CO2 water vapor, between the atmosphere and the inside of the leaf. Is a pore found in the epidermis of leaves that controls the rate of gas exchange. Mesopyle, cells containing plastids, especially chloroplast. Chloroplast, found producing machinery of the leaf, specialized bodies embedded within the cytoplasm of the mesopyle cells which contain chlorophyll, Chlorophyll, green pigment, the basis of photosynthesis. Vascular bundles or veins for translocation composed of specialized strands of tissue located halfway between the upper and lower surface of the leaf and consist of two kinds of tissues, phloem and xylem, together forming a conducting system branches from one or several main veins permeates the entire leaf. Vascular bundles is a part of the transport system in a vascular plant. Phloem, thin-walled cells which serves as pipeline for liquid foods, while xylem, thick-walled cells which conduct water and mechanical support. Plant organs. Two main parts of a plant, root system and shoot system. Root is normally underground. Functions are anchorage of the plant, absorption of water and dissolved minerals, conduction of water and nutrients to the stem, and storage of reserve foods. That part of a vascular plant normally in the underground. Regions of the root. Root caps, it protects the apical meristem and preserves gravity. Is a type of tissues at the tip of a plant root. Apical meristem, region of cell division and production of new cells. Region of cells capable of division and growth in the root and shoot tips in plant. Region of cells elongation, push meristem and root cap through the ground. Apical meristem of the root, they are small and rounded. Region of maturation, development of protoderm, procambium, and ground tissues, is sometimes also called the region of differentiation or root hair zone. Types of roots. Taproot system. Taproot system is one central primary root with several branches. Makes deep penetration in the soil. Taproot system is a large central and dominant root from which other roots sprout laterally. Second is fibrous root system. Numerous, similar size, no central primary root, make shallow root penetration, is the opposite of the taproot system. It is usually formed by thin, moderately branching roots growing from the stem. Other types of roots. Adventitious roots. Roots that grow from any part of the plant body other than radical. So the adventitious roots is a plant roots that form from any non-root tissues. Foliar roots. Foliar roots is from leaves mainly petiole or vein. So the foliar roots is they arise from petiole or veins of leaf due to some injury. Storage roots. Thickened underground roots used for storage of food. Example, sweet potato, cassava, and arrowroot. So storage root is a primarily function to store carbohydrates underground as reserves for perennial spices. Aquatic roots. Roots that develops in water. Example, water spinach, water hyacinth. So aquatic roots is roots that develop on stems above the normal position occupied by roots in response to prolonged inundation with water. Brace roots. Roots that appear above ground at the base of a plant, example maize. So the brace roots is the plants executing an emergency bypass reaching into the soil from beyond a long area in a desperate attempt to get the water and nutrients it needs to survive. Area roots. Roots of hanging plants such as orchids, so the aerial roots that have grown on the above ground parts of a plant. Buttress roots, large adventitious roots that stabilize large trees. So buttress roots is large, wide roots on all sides of a shallowly rooted tree. The shoot system. Main components of the shoot system is stem, leaf, flower, fruit which contain the seeds. Stem is supporting and conducting organ initially developed from epicotyle, important for translocation, support the leaves, connect to the roots, provide storage. So stem is the plant axis that bears buds and shoot with the leaves at its basal and roots. Types of stem. Bulb, short erect underground stem. The bulb crops include plants such as the tulip, hyacinth, and the next one is calm, flowering stem of grasses and sedges. Calm is the hollow stem of a grass or cereal plant, especially that bearing the flower. Offset, like runner, originates from leaf axil, a short and thickened branch away from the mother plant. Runner or stolon, indeterminate above ground stem with internodes and new plantlet at the tip. So runner or stolon is a cylinder stem that grows horizontally along the ground, giving rise to roots and aerial branches at specialized points called nodes. Sucker, shoot arising from below the ground from old stem. Sucker is growths that appear from the root systems of many trees and shrubs. Tendril, slender curling branch for climbing. So tendril is a slender whip-like or thread-like strand produced usually from the node of a stem by which a vine or other plant may climb. Teller, shoot produced from the base of the stem or culm. So the teller is a shoot that arises from the base of a grass plant. Tuber, thick storage underground stem. So the tuber is bulbous modified stems that grow underground. Corm, enlarged, solid, fleshly base. Corm is particularly fleshly underground stem that acts as a food storage structure in certain seed plants. Phylloclades or cleodaries, flattened or cylindrical green stem. So phylloclades is a shoot system in which leaves do not develop, rather the stems become flattened and assume the photosynthetic functions of the plant. Leaf, principal photosynthetic organ, absorbing organ for chemicals and micronutrients. Transpiration organ, as storage organ, as plant propagale, as ornamental for pigment color. Modified leaf bulbs, vertically growing underground shoots with fleshy leaves and a short stem. A modified stem that is the resting stage of certain seeds plants, particularly perennial monocotyledons. Bracts. Bracts are specialized plant structures that serve varied functions such as attracting pollinators and protecting inflorescences or flower structures. Bracts is modified leaf with a flower or cluster of flowers in its leaf arrangement. First is alternate. Have only one leaf per node arranged alternate on each side of the stem in a flat plane. So, the leaves is a single at each node and borne along the stem alternately in an ascending Next is spiral. Have only one leaf per node arranged in a spiral along the stem. So, spiral is alternately arranged leaves in which its succeeding stem, node, and attached leaf is related slightly from the nodes below and above it. Opposite. Two leaves arise at the same point with the leaves connecting opposite each other along the branch. So opposite is when two leaves occur at one node. The arrangement is called opposite. Whorled. Three or more leaves connected at a node. So whorled is when three or more leaves occur at one node. A whorled arrangement is proceeded. So mauna siya ang leaf arrangement. Ang kanang first two is muna siya ang alternate. Ang sunod ang spiral, sunod opposite, sunod ang whorl. Flower. Reproductive organ of the plant. Gives rise to the fruit. Plant structure serving for sexual reproduction with seeds as the final product. Produced by spermatophytes, flowering plants. Two large groups of spermatophytes. First is gymnosperm, evolutionary older and more primitive group. Example, conifers and cycads. Gymnosperm is a group of seed-producing plants that include conifers and cycads. Angiosperms. The original flowering plants represent the majority of plant species. So, angiosperm flowering plants are plants that bear flowers and fruits, and from the clade angiosperm. Parts of the flower. Spiraea, calyx and corolla. Calyx is a sepals and corolla is petals. Androecium or stamen, anther and filament. Gynecium or pistil or carpels. Stigma, style and ovary. Types of plants depending on sex. Androgynous or hermaphroditic. Flowers that contain both androecium and gymnosium. Example, papaya. Next, monoecious, both male and female. Flower live on plant. Example, corn and cucurbits. Dioecious, plants with male and female. Flowers borne on separate plants. Example, dates. Morphology of the androecium and gymnosium. First, hypogynous. The differentia is attached to the receptacle below the pistil. Perigynous. The differentia and the stamens are borne on the rim of the concave structure in the depression of which the pistil is borne. Epigynous ovary. Blossom seems to arise upon or above the ovary. And then, kanang picture is mauna siya ang una, epigynous, kaduha, perigynous, tulo hypogenous.